I'm making this vlog to tell part of my story, my personal story of how I have lived for almost 20 years in chronic pain because of something you've probably never heard of called transverse myelitis. Transverse myelitis is a disease that affects nerves of the spinal cord. It is demyelination of nerves in the spinal cord. Demyelination being something attacks the nerves and destroys the protective coating of those nerves, the myelin, which is the protective coating of the nerves. And if you can think of it as when you strip the coating off of the wires that come from your computer or the light you plug in, those wires become exposed and damaged. So anything in the case of transverse myelitis, anything below the lesion or the area that has been damaged in the nerves does not function properly. In my case, my legs are weak, my balance is very poor, and my feet are essentially numb. And when it started, and again in my case almost 20 years ago, the pain was unbearable. The pain started in my left foot and eventually traveled into both feet and affected both legs. I may be one of the lucky ones. I was told that when I was diagnosed, and it took me 7 years to get a diagnosis. I don't even remember at this point how many doctors I went to, how many neurologists in 2 different states, until one doctor diagnosed me with it, and he said I was one of the lucky ones because many of the people that have transverse myelitis are completely paralyzed from the area of damage in the spinal cord down. One person who has transverse myelitis, her name is Cody Unser. Her father is the race car driver Al Unser Jr. And Cody Unser, if you Google her, she has a website and she's explains a lot of things she's done. She's been very active in trying to help people with myelitis and help raise money and awareness of transverse myelitis. So, in 1988, when mine started, I was on crutches for about a year or so. Then I went to a cane, and after that I basically used a cane for a long time and braces on my ankles and feet, and was actually improving slightly, but the sensation never returned to my feet, and my balance was always poor. I fell many times. And then I continued working. I was a professional photographer, and I found ways to modify uh, my photographic uh, techniques and use lighter cameras and autofocus cameras and sometimes a tripod. But there were just some things I couldn't do anymore. Uh, since my balance was poor, I could not walk on inclines. I used to climb ladders to get high angles. I couldn't do any of that anymore. Anyway, regardless, I found ways to do my job. Then in 1997, I was rear-ended while going back to work from lunch, and it was not a bad accident from the point of view of damage to the car, but apparently it had a very negative effect on my back. So gradually, my health went downhill after that, and I began losing my balance more. And uh, 1999, I had to go on full disability. And since then, I've developed numbness in my hands as well, which has been very scary. And it may be part of the same process, but it has not been diagnosed yet. In any case, if anyone on here or anyone sees this knows about transverse myelitis or knows someone who has it, even though it is a fairly rare problem, I would like to hear from you and what you know about it. Um, that's all. Maybe another time I'll make a second vlog about how I live in chronic pain, because I have not found a doctor who's been willing to treat the pain, and find that many doctors know very little about how to care for pain or unwilling to prescribe painkillers. I have tried some things to help with pain, but unfortunately I was unable to tolerate the side effects. I tried medication called Lyrica, and more recently something called Cymbalta, and uh, had bad side effects. But I may try it again because the pain is often unbearable. And again, my hands are getting more numb, and that's very scary. I had learned to live with the numbness in my feet, but now with the hands as well, uh, makes it much more difficult. In any case, that's all I'm going to say about it for now. But I would like to try and raise awareness of this illness, and we'll probably make another vlog at some point. Thanks for listening and watching. I appreciate it, and again, if you know of anything about transverse myelitis, there's only one center for transverse myelitis, and that is at Johns Hopkins Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, Maryland, and there's a Dr. Kerr, Kerr, there, who is probably the most knowledgeable person in the country about transverse myelitis. I hope to get to meet with him at some point. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you soon. Be well. Bye-bye.